Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Jones, thank you for your time and for your service to our country. 35 years as a Foreign Service officer, is that correct?
That's right.
Did we make Foreign Service officers at age 7?
Thank you.
When was the last time you testified before a committee of Congress?
I testified on Syria probably about a month ago.
On the Senate Foreign Relations Committee?
Correct.
Good. There's a few things that have come to light since then about the Benghazi attacks that I'd like to discuss with you. According to an email that you sent on September 12th, you had seen the Libyan ambassador to the United States that day, and he said he believed the attacks had been conducted by sympathizers to the former Gaddafi regime, and that you corrected him that those attacks were conducted by Ansar al-Sharia, a group affiliated with Islamic terrorists. How did you know that on September 12th?
What actually happened, Congressman, is that there were stories coming out of the Libyan press that quoted Libyan officials as saying that it could have been old adherents of Gaddafi who had conducted the attack in Benghazi. And I had a conversation with Ambassador Ojale to say that I had seen on the websites that Ansar al-Sharia had claimed responsibility, that it didn't seem to me that it was necessarily the adherents of Gaddafi. And that it would be important to have an investigation to ensure that we knew what had happened. The reason I had that conversation with him and reported it to my colleagues in Tripoli was that I wanted to start the conversation about how important it was to be sure that we were working on counter-terrorist, counter-extremist activities in Libya, so that the kind of cooperation that we needed to have in Libya and across North Africa and elsewhere in the Middle East would be forthcoming.
Yes, which unfortunately we did not receive given the hostility of the Libyan government after we blamed it on an unruly mob. I'd like to
no,
move.
that is not correct.
Oh, would you like to say what is correct?
What is correct is the Libyan government.
Did the Libyan government provide us access to the scene of the attacks in the immediate aftermath? There was no delay. There was no effort to preclude our investigators or American officials from receiving access to those scenes.
Let me tell the story. The Libyan government was extremely upset by what had happened in Benghazi, and they offered all possible assistance, condolences, and support for the United States in pursuing the investigation. They gave access to the FBI as soon as the FBI wished to arrive in Tripoli, and they gave full cooperation to the FBI and to the investigators to the best of their ability. When the FBI asked for access, they got access.
Okay. Obviously, we all know about a series of email exchanges on September 14th and 15th about the talking points that originated at the CIA and then went to the State Department and White House and finally the Deputies Committee. On those exchanges, many of which are redacted but have their office designation, for example, Office of Congressional Affairs or Office of Legislative Affairs at the CIA, I saw the names Toria Newland, David Adams, Jacob Sullivan. I don't recall seeing your name on those email exchanges. Do you recall being on those exchanges of the approximately 100 pages that were released a couple weeks ago?
Congressman, I was intensely busy working with my embassies in the Middle East. 20 of which were we had 20 posts that had demonstrations that weekend from across that period of time. I was not involved in any of the talking points issues, and so my name wasn't on those emails. But
I understand. I just wanted to make sure that you were not on them. I didn't want to misunderstand. Toria Newland, we all know, is a spokesman. Who is David Adams?
It might be appropriate to discuss all of this in another setting. I'd rather talk about the budget request.
Well, part of the budget request goes to the confidence we have in the senior leadership of the State Department, so I would like an answer to my question, please. Who is David Adams?
David Adams is no longer at the State Department.
Who was he at the time, though?
He was the Assistant Secretary for Congressional Relations.
Jacob Sullivan?
He worked he was the Director of Policy Planning.
But so neither one of those were in your Bureau, Near East Affairs, correct?
I beg your pardon?
Neither in Near East Affairs or had any particular expertise in Near East Affairs?
I don't understand your question.
Neither of those officials, David Adams or Jacob Sullivan, were part of the Near East Affairs Bureau at the State Department?
No.
I see my time has expired for now.
Gentleman,